festival.
Hello, here you are. You've reached the final stage of the competition. Congratulations, I'm Sophia. In this video, I'll explain how to submit your film to the jury. Please note, in addition to following the rules I already explained to you, your video must also include mandatory screens, an intro jingle, the logos of the international sponsors, the logos of the local sponsors, only if you are linked to a city that has its own festival, and the screen with your video title, and the unique AI for Good ID that we sent you. Here are the steps I will go over to submit a fully compliant video. First, we'll download the necessary elements to edit the final version. Then we'll do the final edit of the video. Put the video to your Google Drive and make it available via a link, and finally fill out and submit the form. Let's get started. Let's download the required screens together. To find them, it's very simple. You can go to Google. In the Participate section, and in the Submit Your Film and/or your Game tab. For your final edit, you need several elements. As we mentioned, the jingle, the mosaic of international sponsor logos, the mosaic of local sponsor logos, and finally, the title screen with your unique identifier, and then your film, which you will add afterwards. So we're simply going to download everything together, starting with the intro jingle. There, I'm downloading it. Next, I go back to the previous page. Next, I'm going to download the logos, international sponsors. Here, I can simply right-click to save the image as in my folder. You already have a file with you, so I just save it. Next, only if you are registered through a country or a city. So here, for example, I'll choose New Caledonia. Here, I go there too. Download the image. It's done. I go back again. And finally, the title screen. And here I can right-click, save the image as, since there's no download option. Now we can start editing. Now that we have all the elements, we will assemble them in the following order. First, the jingle A. Next, B. The international sponsors. C, the local sponsors. And finally, D, the title screen. With your AI for Good ID candidate. And finally, your film, of course, which should last at least 1 minute and at most 2 minutes. We will do this editing on CapCut. We are going to upload the elements we need. As usual, I have grouped them in a folder so I can easily find them. So I'm going to take the intro jingle, the international sponsors, the sponsors from New Caledonia to whom I am attached, the title screen for the candidate videos, as well as the video I produced with you. All my videos are uploaded to the CapCut interface, and I will be able to assemble them in order. I'll start with the intro jingle, the international sponsors, as well as the local sponsors, in my case, New Caledonia. Again, if you are not part of one of these local competitions, you don't have to add these sponsors. the title screen. And finally, my final video. By default, when you insert images in CapCut, the duration of that image is 5 seconds, which is a little long. So we're going to shorten this by simply zooming in on our timeline. And we can see here that it's indeed 5 seconds. So quite simply, I'm going to reduce the duration. Here, I'm at 3:15, so just a little bit more. There we go, 3 seconds. Same thing for the sponsors. Local. And finally, for the title screen in the same way. There, I zoom out. And I have each time 3 seconds. Now I'm going to add the necessary text to my title screen. I'm on my title screen, and here I'm going to add some text. A lemur in the kitchen. Things are going to heat up. You can see here that I can directly edit the elements. I keep the default font, the font. And finally, I add another text to add. I'm going to reduce the font size a bit, and I'm going to add here my candidate number. Which is a number with 19 digits, which you will find in an email that was sent to you. You can see that I have added the text correctly. I have my identifier. A lemur in the kitchen. Things are going to heat up. Title, identifier, that's exactly what I need. I'm doing a quick check of the whole video to be sure. Be careful to adjust your text so that it doesn't go beyond the boundaries. The frame of the screen, the title, should not end up outside your video. So, the text must only be contained within the screen. Title. All right, let's take a look. I really encourage you to make sure you carefully check that your video is absolutely okay. Here we go. There you go, it works, so that's great. Now I can download my video. Before downloading it, it's very important. I'm going to change the title. Here we go. I go here. I'm going to rename this project. The title, ideally. This is AI for Google May 2025, short film, and then your candidate number. This will help the jury make sure they're really watching the right video. There, perfect. I'm downloading. Make sure to download your video properly, as we saw in 1080p high quality MP4 format. It's very important that the quality is maintained. Now that we've exported and downloaded our Finalize video, we're going to upload it to Google Drive, and then we'll share it via a link that we'll provide to the jury. There are 2 ways to add your video to Google Drive. Here I'm on my Google Drive. I've created a dedicated folder, and my video AI for Good. So there are 2 ways. Either I click on New and then import a file. or I simply drag and drop my video from my folder, which is what I want to do. There we go, that's my video AI for Google. And so it's uploading. Just a moment. There we go, it's uploaded. There are several ways to share a file, but we're going to use one. One that allows you to share the file with anyone who has the link, so the jury to whom you send it. So I'm going to click either by right-clicking on the video or by clicking on the three little dots. And I'm going to share. So if I only copy the link, it will simply share or only give access to people who already have access to my folder, to my Google Drive. So make sure to click on share. And here, we're not going to select a specific user, but rather set general access. So we're going to say that we're sharing with anyone who has the link. It's very important that you do this so that we can actually access it. So I'm going to share it with anyone who has the link. And now I'll be able to copy the link. I copy the link. I recommend that you copy and paste it into a note or somewhere safe, because you're going to need it to fill out your form. Make sure that your video stays on your drive with the same sharing settings, meaning a link shared with anyone who has the link. At least until the end of the competition and until the results are announced, so that the jury has constant access to your video until they finish their deliberations. If you want to check that the link works properly, you can go to Files in the Chrome menu and open a new incognito window. Why a new incognito tab? Because it's as if you're not logged into anything, as if you were a completely external user to your system. So I'm going to paste the link. And I do indeed have access to the recorded video. That's it. This is the final step in submitting the video. We're finally going to fill out the form. So we're going to find the form, participate, send your film. And finally, we'll find the form at the bottom of the page. Note that there is one form per submission, meaning that if you've made both a short film and a game, then there will be 2 form submissions. You will need to send 2 different forms. To submit the form, you need to gather 3 key elements: your candidate ID, a 19-digit number, the URL either of your video or your video game, and finally the title of your short film or your game. The first element is your candidate ID, the 19-digit number. It was sent to you by email. It looks something like this. The subject of the email was your ID, unique ID for Google Festival. If you ever lose it, you can contact us by sending your last name, first name, and the email address you used to register. Now I can enter my ID. You also need to add, depending on what you are submitting, the corresponding URL. So for the video URL, it's the Google Drive link URL that we just created together. As for the video game, you need to log into your account. Go to your games page and then simply copy the URL of the game page. Here I'll be able to copy and paste in our case. The Google Drive link to my video, the one I tested a little earlier, you only need to add that. No space after it, really just the URL. Next, the title of my short film. The theme I chose, let's say Superhero Everyday. Am I promoting an association? This is very important. If that's the case, don't forget to specify it. For me, it's no. If it had been yes, you must. Clearly specify which association it is and provide its website or a link to its social media page. Finally, I add the email address I used to register. I check that I have filled out my form correctly, my candidate ID, the URL, the title, the theme, whether or not it's for an association, my first name, my last name, and finally my email. Everything looks good. I send it off. I get a message confirming that everything has been sent successfully, and I wish you good luck.